Welcome to the SnailTrail4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic repairs are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and joining me for another episode of the SnailTrail4x4 podcast, Mr. Jimmy Jet. How you doing, man?
I am doing so much better.
So much better.
So much better.
You're not sicko anymore?
No,
I don't. Typhoid Mary?
No, not at all. Okay. I mean, I've still got a little bit of congestion, just slightly. And because of that, I have a slight cough, but I'm doing well.
Nice.
Yes. Feeling much better, starting to have energy again. I think recovery is going to be short, but it'll be great. So.
Nice.
Yeah, the mini assistant's still sick. Now the assistant is sick. The assistant I think she has like laryngitis. Like she completely lost her voice at school, right? She's a teacher.
Yeah.
And she was like,
how does that work out? Yeah. Is she like doing flashcards or writing stuff on the board? She literally
would. So she has like these smart boards, which is pretty much just a ginormous monitor.
Okay. Yep.
And she would literally like write out the instructions on the on the keyboard and have it play or show for the kids, because she's like, my voice is gone. She
should totally be like get a little robotic voice to read what she's typing out, and then she could be like Stephen Hawking. In class.
That'd work.
Class. Yeah.
That could be fun. She lost her voice on Friday. She spent the weekend sort of just not talking, which was really probably nice? The best part of ever in our relationship.
Yeah.
And I said that a few times this weekend. I got slapped a few times, but yeah, it was fun. So on Monday,
I totally have so much fun with that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, she would talk if she had to, but you know, she knew I was joking, sort of, and and everybody else around got a good kick out of it. But Monday she went back to school and her voice is sort of back, and so she's just trying to recover. And she did a little bit of research, and I didn't know this. She said for like, if you lose your voice, it's actually harder on your tonsil or your vocal cords and tonsils and throat to whisper. They said they said the best thing is to not talk. The second best thing is to try to talk.
Interesting.
And whispering actually like hurts it more because you're like purposely not using them, I guess. I'm not sure how it all worked out, but that was interesting. So she read that. That's when she actually was purposefully not talking. So it was great. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, good.
Yeah. The family's still down. I'm recovering. And it's funny because the mini assistant has been sick. She started this cold and she's still sick. And
isn't she the one not taking medicine?
Yeah, yep. Exactly. And so she's like, why are you better? I'm like, because I don't like inhale my mucus. Yeah. Like she won't like blow her nose or anything. She just wants to suck it in. I'm like, I bet you're getting a sinus infection because you're just continuously doing that. You're not willing to use cough drops to help your throat recover. You're not willing to take cough medicine. So if you want to get better, maybe you should consider these things.
Yeah.
And so the other night she was like, okay, fine. And so we gave her like Mucinex that like thins your mucus out. And then she started coughing a bunch and she's like, it's not working. I'm like, no,
that's what you want.
This is working. Yeah. Like it's cleaning you out. It's like, it's thinned things out and it's draining right now. And she's like, oh,
it's a sinus detox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get her better soon, and the assistant's already getting better. So
just, I mean, it's medicine's awesome. It fights the symptoms so that your body can fight the infection.
Yeah.
Is what I like to say about cold medicine a lot of times. Cold medicine, flu medicine, it's good stuff. Just stay away from Tylenol, but God forbid.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm not going to go. I went there. We should go down that road. All right. So, good. I'm glad you're doing better.
Yes. Thank you.
And I'm glad that this is kind of a nice little teaching moment, hopefully, for the mini assistant.
Hopefully. Yes.
And hopefully the assistant gets better, but keeps her voice lost for a couple more days for you.
Maybe. Yeah. She actually kicked herself out of bed the other night and took herself downstairs because she was coughing. Yeah. So that was, I got the whole bed. I know. It's kind of nice. Yeah.
All right. So anyways, welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
This is Thursday.
It is.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Hopefully you guys are gearing up for a fun weekend. There's a really fun trip coming up this weekend that I think I'm backing out of.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We had Barrett Lake is coming up this weekend. It's the Mad Hatter's Barrett Lake trip.
Yeah.
And I haven't done Barrett Lake yet this year.
Neither have I.
And so I was really looking forward to this trip, but it looks like it's going to get below freezing at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And
sounds fun.
The family was going to go with me.
Yeah.
And at least the secretary does not do well in cold weather.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm worried just because we haven't done it yet of taking Reed into sub-freezing temperatures.
Sure.
So I'm just calling the trip, and we're going to stay home, and I'm going to work on some stuff. And there's a lot of work stuff going on too that I'm really stressed out about. So I'm just going to take the weekend off and relax.
Okay.
And not have to worry about taking care of two cold people and making everybody else's lives miserable that are there. So
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, not going out there. But it should hopefully have a decent weekend in the meantime.
Okay. Yeah.
Trail Heroes going on this week.
It is. Yep. Yeah, you going out?
Not.
Neither
nope.
am I. Yeah.
Kermit's out there though.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I don't know if Kermit will be in the vendor show at all because we have the El Camino Wrecker.
Yep.
Is going to be in the Morphlate booth.
That's cool.
From Malfunction Junction, Clancy over there, that YouTube channel is bringing the El Camino Wrecker to hang out in the Morphlate booth during the vendor show at Trail Hero. So Kermit will be around, but not, I think, in the vendor show.
Sure.
So
okay.
Look around for him. He's out there. Let's see what else is anything else interesting going on. News and noteworthy wise.
Well, there is, I don't know when the call to action ended for the Blue Ribbon Coalition, new, like, I forgot what it was called. You would probably remember.
The roadless rule?
Not the roadless rule, the land out in Moab.
Oh, the Moab one. Yeah. That one is October 25th, I believe. Okay. So that's a big one we do need to chat about, mention quickly. The highlight of it is that the BLM is going back and reevaluating all the trail closures in the Gemini bridges and Labyrinth Rims area.
Yeah.
That was 350 miles of trails got closed that Blue Ribbon has been vehemently fighting since 2023. And we've been trying to cover as much as we can of it. The BLM has said that they're listening now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. To us, the off-roaders. We put up such a big stink about it.
I meant SnailTrail4x4.
Well, totally. That's really, we have, our show is getting over to Utah BLM. So, no, I think that the state did a really good job, the state of Utah, in suing BLM and saying, hey, a lot of these trails and roads you closed were RS-2477 roads. Mm-hmm. You can't fucking do that.
Right.
Fuck off. And then backed with Blue Ribbon Coalition suing, stating that you guys did not do a proper evaluation of these trails, and the trails you did close, like the ones you closed make no sense and the ones you left open make no sense. Like it just from all around, it makes no sense. So the BLM is going back and reevaluating everything now. So put in public comment. We have until October 25th for public comment to go in. And I did what you did.
I did what I did too.
You did it too? Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I took, and if you go to Blue Ribbon's Action Alert website, and you can go and say, I want to leave a comment.
Yes.
You put in your zip code and it brings up a contact form that you can put through Blue Ribbon's website, and they will email your senator, your congressperson, your representative, as well as the local BLM office in Utah, to talk about why you don't want these trails closed, why you want them reevaluated, why you agree with the reevaluation, right? And so they give you a prompt of, hey, say this. If you don't have anything to say, just click submit and we'll submit this prompt.
Right.
So I took that prompt and put it into ChatGPT.
Yep.
And then said,
you added your own.
Well, I said, these are the points that I care about from this area.
Yeah.
and gave ChatGPT a bullet list of like 5 or 6 points that I cared about and said, hey, rewrite the prompt and my bullet list to be a new email for the local BLM office. And ChatGPT did it, and I read through it, and I was like, damn,
that's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah. I did the same, and all I did was summarize that into like a 1 paragraph.
Okay.
And then it like condensed everything.
Yeah. So it worked awesome. It took me less than 10 minutes, I think, total time. And I've already gotten, the automated reply back from the senator and representative's office saying, hey, we received it. Thank you for caring about this topic. We'll let you know once we read it and reply to it. So, it was cool, but we haven't talked October 25th. Okay. So everybody go do that. It's very important. There's a lot of really good trails that got closed, that we covered, like Hey Joe Canyon is a big one. And they're getting reevaluating for reopening them. So
yeah, I got a response from the senator. I don't know if it's regional or California senator, for the roadless rule. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much said, thanks for your email and your concerns, but I back the roadless rule. I'm like, damn it.
I would reply back to that and be like, okay, well, I guess I'm not voting for you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for your opinion. I disagree, and this is why. And I guess I'm not going to vote for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or sit and be like, yeah, thank you for that reply. I'd love to have a conversation with you about the merits of roadless rule. And
his whole thing was, I want to keep the lands wild. Right. And that's what I was like. I don't think you understand I don't think you fully grasp what that all means.
What that means. Yeah.
Yeah. That means nobody's going to really be able to go in there.
Yep. Yeah. I think that there is a value, there is merit in keeping some lands wild.
Sure.
And having actual wilderness areas where people are not allowed to go to. However, we can't just lock up all of our lands. There has to be a balance somewhere, a sustainable balance of people being able to go out and enjoy those lands. Otherwise, what's the point of locking it up?
Right.
I mean, there's the point of having a sustainable ecosystem, but I'm like, you can have a sustainable ecosystem without banning people from that ecosystem. I don't know. So anyways, I think that people that are trying to create wilderness areas are either misinformed about what that really means.
I think that's the number one.
I agree. Or, they're not, privy to reality.
Right.
Of you can create sustainable ecosystems without banning human beings from them.
100%.
It's definitely 100% doable. And you're lying to yourself if you think that the only way to create a sustainable ecosystem is to ban human beings from it.
Right.
Anyways, enough of that. You guys know what our stance is here at SnailTrail4x4. So reach out to your senators, your Congress people, if they're willing to have a chat with you about it. Sit down and have a chat. I would, if anybody out there is able to get a senator or congressperson willing to sit down and chat with us about it, I would totally do that. In a heartbeat, because I think that the conversations need to happen. I think we're at a point in this country where we don't want to converse about things that we disagree on. And it's okay to disagree on stuff. That's where the magic happens, in my opinion, of society. Sure. Is when disagreements happen, you talk about them and you find solutions to those disagreements. So if anybody can get a congressperson to sit down, I'd love to chat with them about it. And it's not going to be like I'm not a professional expert on it. I just want to have a chat.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. So anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
We have a show for Thursday. We are at the end of the month. By the time this comes out, we are in October, but we're recording in September. So hopefully you guys had a chance to get in for the September's giveaway. We will announce the winner next week, for the Dobinson trail bag here from Stellar Built. And Dimitri, thanks for coming by, hanging out with us and chatting and giving away this pretty awesome Dobinson bag,
and a vehicle.
Yeah, he gave away a vehicle is here. So we'll go over all that next week. Coming up in October, it is gift box month.
It is. I'm excited.
So we got gift boxes going out. As of listening to this episode, gift box tier is open. All the tiers are now open for the month of October through October 31st. We will close everything back down. Not everything. The gift box tier will close that back down whenever Austin decides to go trick-or-treating with his kids. So make sure you guys do all the movement you want to do, need to do, etc. before evening time for Austin to go play with his kids out trick-or-treating. Yeah. So you have the whole month to do that. If you guys have any questions about it, please reach out and let us know. We can help you get through the process. Remember that when you move tiers around, you need to cancel your old tier under your PayPal subscriptions. So there's a spot under PayPal to view your subscriptions. That's what the tiers are, PayPal subscriptions. So you have to cancel your old tier when you move around tiers. Yes. So if you have questions about that, we can help guide you through it, but you need to do it. We cannot cancel it for you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. If you swap tiers on iRate 4x4, you need to cancel whatever tier you don't want anymore on your PayPal. It doesn't automatically do it for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So gift box tier is open.
Yep.
So now is a great time to be shuffling around tiers if you're interested in moving one way or another. It's a fantastic time. You have to be in the gift box.
Can people go both ways if they want?
People definitely can go both ways. Okay. You have to stay in the gift box tier for all 6 months to be eligible to receive a gift box. So if you want to get a gift box, now's the time to move into the gift box tier. If you want to leave the gift box tier and just move down to the giveaway tier or the $5 buy us a coffee tier, then now's a good time to do that too, because you have fulfilled your contract to receive the gift boxes. So just do whatever you want. Feel free, but just make sure that you cancel the old one.
Yep.
And we'll be double checking everything at the end of October when we go through it, and we'll message out people that have duplicates like we normally do. So,
once October is over, we go through and evaluate how many people we have in the gift box tier still and all that good stuff. So that we can start planning the next gift boxes and start planning the next couple of giveaways for the monthly giveaways, etc. So, if you guys have duplicates, hopefully we'll catch it and we'll let you guys know, first half of November. So,
yep, for sure. That's good. We also have the giveaway going on for an OnX Elite membership. If you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, go leave a review. Automatically enters you for the OnX Elite membership giveaway that's going on once we reach 800. We're also going to do the same thing when we get to 850. And then when we get to 900 reviews, we're doing a really big, fantastic giveaway with Morflate. Yay, Morflate.
That Morflat company is pretty awesome.
They might be the most awesome off-road company in existence.
Yep.
But that said, we have a fun giveaway, I think in November with Morflate as well. And that's where we will be announcing the first item that will be in the giveaway tier for the 900 review as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we have something exciting coming. The shipping, logistics, and production of the launch items took a little longer than I was hoping for, but they're officially all down, and the ETA is going to be 3rd to 4th week of October, which means we have a new item launching at Morflate kind of the end of October, and we're going to do that as the giveaway item for November for you guys.
Cool.
So we'll announce that once we get there, because I can't talk about stuff early on the podcast because people end up stealing our work and our ideas. So keep your ear holes tuned, and kind of the 3rd, 4th week of October, somewhere around there, we'll let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah. Sweet for that. All right. Anything else?
Let's see. Anything else? We have the reviews, monthly, gift boxes coming. I think we're good, man.
Yeah. I think the last thing I want to just say about gift boxes is they are not being shipped from SnailTrail4x4. They are being shipped from a company that we're working with. So you're going to receive a random gift from a company and just realize that it's from us.
Yep.
Maybe we could have them like CC on the label SnailTrail4x4 or something.
Maybe on like the ship from address.
Yeah.
I want to think. You don't have to put your name on it. So they could put Snail Trail 4x4 and then their address, the ship from address. So
maybe we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But by the time you're listening to this, all the addresses have been submitted. So hopefully you got back to me with confirming your address, and which most of you have. I have a few people that still haven't, but hopefully by that now you have, and we will, I think, started the process of getting everything shipped out to you guys.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that does it. We have a couple fun things to go over today. So let's take a quick break then.
Okay.
We'll hear a little bit from I had a fur on my microphone. Well, I'll hear a little bit from Onyx Off-Road and why Jimmy and I like that little piece of software there. And we'll be right on back with today's kind of what we've been up to.
Are you stuck inside? Are you not sure where you want to go to explore? Well, open the Onyx Off-Road app. It shows you all the trails around you and it tells you their difficulty. Now you can quickly search out your next adventure or plan your next trip. Download Onyx Off-Road from the App Store. Onyx Off-Road, built for the adventurer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentle ladies, to today's program. Your scheduled formatted program here today is shenanigans from Jimmy and I. Yes. Shenanigans in the lives of Tyler and Jimmy and what we've been up to, and some things we've done and some things that we've been involved with that just make for some fun stories. And I don't know why, but we always seem to get ourselves into fun situations. That's like, I don't know, fun to talk about, I guess. Fun for people to listen to, maybe, because people keep listening to the podcast. I don't know. Yeah, man. I did some work on the rigs over the weekend.
Okay, good.
Had a fun situation with Kermit.
Oh, okay.
Where Kermit had to get flat toed.
Interesting. Okay.
And let's see, was there anything else? I think that's it for me. What kind of fun things were you up to?
Well, shall I start?
Sure.
Let's see. I was sick last week, pretty sick. So I didn't have a lot of energy or motivation to go do anything else than what was like minimally required of me. So I kind of just got the like bare essential snail armor stuff out the door, made sure to get the podcasts done. Actually, I did more. It was easier for me to do the podcast this week because I was sitting at home more than I was out doing other things. So I was just like, well, if I'm sitting here, I just might as well edit the podcast. So the podcasts were done way beforehand and we can preset them to go out. So that was kind of nice.
Did you do a bunch of fun and goofy audio overlays?
With my congested voicing? No, I did not.
Okay.
But let's see. So my week was very lazy for the most part. I was just trying to recover. I was taking naps in the middle of the day because I was just exhausted halfway through the day. But this weekend was my Bonsai Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the fourth weekend of September is always the
wow, it's that time of year already.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. It's the weekend that they have this huge food bazaar out at this the Placer County Buddhist Temple, and I don't know how many chickens they went through this year. It's insane. They sold out like halfway through day 2. Yeah, just a crazy amount of chickens get slaughtered for this event, but the chicken is so good. So that was fun. But let's see. So I tried to hit the Morphlate Roundup the weekend before, and a lot of people went and did like a primary setup out there. And then we all showed up Saturday morning at like 8 a.m. to do like the final setup. And since I wasn't there on day 1, the first setup, I was kind of like, well, you guys did like a really interesting setup. Like, why is it like this? And then come to find out that what they did fell over. Oh, and then this 98-year-old Japanese man and his son reassembled everything and lashed it down so it wouldn't fall over.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, why didn't you call me? Like, what the hell? Or let us know, or, and I guess they let sort of the president of the club know, and they were like, yeah, it fell over, but we already fixed it. I was like, okay. So anyways, we had to spend a little bit of time because like building it so that it was more structurally sound, because when it fell over, it didn't have the canvas wall on it.
Okay.
It just had hollow beams, but that was enough to get it to blow over. And so the concern was that once we put the canvas on, that it becomes more of a bigger wall sail, and we're going to have more problems. So we had to spend a little bit of time in the morning just figuring out how to brace it better. And I think we figured out a really good solution, and it'll work well. Like my thing was, I don't want a temporary solution that we do this year. I want a solution that we can continuously do the rest of the way. So we more or less made some angle braces down and then drilled holes in it and then stabbed rebar into the ground through the holes on some 2x4s. And then we put on some bracing on the back near the top that we can screw those 2x4s in at the top. And then we just set it up so that we can just sort of reuse the 2x4s year to year. Yeah. And then the other side's just braced by the tables that we shove against the wall. And that's where we put all the bonsai on. And once the bonsai are on there, those tables weigh a lot.
Yeah.
And so there's not a big concern about them pushing. So there was a little bit of setup that needed to happen. And then once we set up, I was still not 100%. So I went home for a few hours and just kind of relaxed. And then a little bit before noon, I came back and hung out there the rest of the day. Went and had a few Sapporos and had the tempura, and didn't have any chicken that day, but they do feed us lunch in the back. And so they had some brisket going on in the back. So that was fun, but it was a lot of fun. Just, seeing this event is really fun for the community. Like I can just see like the community comes together, like everybody in the area comes out. I see a lot of old time friends that I haven't seen in years. Since maybe some of them since high school, and it's just it's a fun time to be there. Day 2 rolled around. They hired security this year. So that was nice. Cause usually sometime in the past I've had to drive out there at midnight is when my shift started. And I would stay until like 5 a.m. until the cooks showed up and watch the trees so that there wouldn't be any thefts. But this year they had security overnight. So that was kind of a bonus. I showed up, I stayed all day on Sunday, hanging out. I saw some friends. I saw my old high school soccer coach. And I saw Steve Sasaki.
Oh
yeah.
That's cool.
So Power Tank Steve, was walking around, and I was standing there and I was talking to somebody. I think I was talking to my wife, the assistant. And I was like looking over at this guy and like, is that Steve? Like, I know he's not terribly far from here, but I've never seen him up here. And so I was like, Steve? And he kind of like turned and he looked at me and he's like, Jimmy? And I was like, hey. So we fell into conversation because he knew I did bonsai. And he's like, are these your trees? And I said, well, some of them, like we have 2 trees in the show. And this is my club that I'm a part of. And we meet here at this church. And so I showed him my trees. We talked a bit about bonsai and just life in general, and how he has always wanted to come to that temple, but always thought it was so far away. But then when he made the drive, he realized that it's not. And
it's not that bad on the freeway.
No, it's not that bad. And he doesn't live down by Power Tank HQ. He lives a little closer to Sacramento, right? So it's even closer for him.
I was gonna say, isn't he like in the Pocket area or just south of the Pocket?
I think he's just south.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure, but I know I said, you live in Lodi? And he's like, no, I live just south of Sacramento kind of thing. I was like, okay. So yeah. Then I was like, well, then it's even closer for you. And he's like, yeah. So he was really impressed by the garden out front. The temple's really pretty. And then the whole event, he's like, this is wild. Yeah. And it's a fun time. I've said it a handful of times, maybe even on the podcast, that it's like my favorite event that people drink at. But there's never any problems at.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Like I relate it to Europe, because like Europe, like Oktoberfest, I'm sure there's some rowdy, stupid people that are just hammered. But like if you think of Oktoberfest, you think it's just a fun party and a bunch of people drinking, right? You don't think of like, all the bad times that happen.
Yeah.
Right. And I really think to me, that's similar to this. Like there's a lot of people drinking, and people are drinking to have fun.
Yeah.
Right. But there's never any like issues. And I don't know why this event has always been that way. Maybe it's just the Buddhist culture or something. I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah. A lot to do with that.
It's always a good time. Like it's always fun. It's fun to show off the trees. It's fun to stand around and teach people about bonsai and just have a good time. So that was really cool. And that took up my entire weekend for the most part.
Yeah.
It went from, like 11 to 3 on the first day. And we got there at 8 and I left for a few hours and got back around 11ish. And then Sunday we have to tear down. And so that takes us a few hours. But then after the event, after teardown, after having some beers, everybody goes into like the main like classroom, this really big classroom area. And they do bingo throughout the days.
Okay.
But then after the event, they do bingo for all the volunteers.
Okay.
And they bring out some other special prizes. And then they have all the prizes that are left over. And they feed us dinner and they have the whatever beers are left over. And so it's just huge party for like all the volunteers.
Okay.
And so that was a lot of fun. So we did that. And I won once and like I snapped some photos of the prizes and I asked the assistant, like, what should I get? And she wanted this like little vacuum thing. And I said, okay. And then at the end, they're like, okay, like just go grab something else. And so I went and got a bubble gun for the mini assistant.
Oh, yeah.
And then my mom was there and she went and got a bubble gun from the nephew.
Okay.
And so we were planning on them having like bubble gun wars. So that could be fun. But yeah, that was kind of my weekend. Didn't do a lot on any of the vehicles just because I wasn't really feeling well during the week. And then my weekend was taken up by this event. I'm also back ordered on 3rd gen panels right now. So I'm kind of like in this hurry up and rush scenario on Snail Armor and just trying to get all that solved and get back into the flow.
You teased, I don't know about teased. You did tease a new model of panel.
Kind of, yeah. Not a new coating.
A new coating, a new way to make the panel. I guess, yeah, a new surface coating on the panel.
Yeah, so I've been powder coating them my entire life. The entire life of the company.
Yeah.
And they've been, and everybody likes the powder coating, and I do too. And it's a robust, for powder coating and for paint, it's a very robust way to do it.
Yeah, it's a textured powder coat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it holds up well. It does mar, it does scratch, but when it scratches, it really never scratches down to the aluminum unless like you're taking a load to the dump and you got metal rubbing up against it as you're driving down the road. Then it might wear its way down to the aluminum. And I have had some people in the past be like, hey, I scratched it and now I could see the aluminum. I'm like, well, it's paint.
Yeah.
Like feel free to paint over it,
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry that like you have to deal with it. So I've had a few people with ill concerned about the strength of powder coat. And though it's probably the strongest paint out there, I am now looking into a bed liner style painting or coating for it. And so I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be feasible, what the price point might be. Is it something that I can spray or is it something that I need to get a professional to do? How thick does it lay out? Can I still do custom etching? Is what version of bed liner is grippy enough and strong enough, but won't hurt your knees when you climb into the truck? Yeah. And there's all these things. So I kind of fell onto one that I'm trying out right now on my own truck to see how it holds up to just wear and tear. It's a little grippier than I had anticipated, but I just I need to test it out and see how it works out. So it's on Charlotte, the Tacoma right now, kind of testing it out. If you want to get a peek at it, it's on Snail Armor's Instagram page, most recent post. And I think I've had a lot of positive feedback on it so far. A lot of people like the idea of another type of coating. So it might be something I come out with for another version, see kind of how that might work out. The price point will have to go up. It costs more than powder coating costs. So I just need to figure out how to appropriately set that up. But I think it could be a fun additional option for you on the way you want something.
Yeah.
And maybe because a lot of these are like you can buy them from a company and they can make special colors out of them. And so I might be able to do custom colors a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because custom colors is really hard for powder coating. One, I need to know the color, which is a hard part. But powder coating, like you can only sort of put one color in the oven and they all cure at sort of different temperatures and times. And so like I can't add a red one in with all my black ones. And it just doesn't work. So in powder coating, you have like, if you're doing one color, it sort of takes over the entire oven. So the powder coating cost goes way up because now I'm renting the oven and the system for one panel. Where if it's sort of a spray and cure scenario, it's as easy as cleaning out the spray gun and changing the paint. Or the coating, right? And we'll go with coating. There's a bunch of different. I've been looking into bed liners, and there's ones that are like painting, and there's ones that are coating, and there's some that are like enamel.
Okay.
Like where you mix two different types together. So I think coating kind of covers them all. Anyway, so I think I'm just looking into the differences, but I think it could be a new version, a new fun thing for the product line, and just another feature to add on. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks good. The bed liner post that you put up on Snail Armor, I was like, that looks really good. Like I'm used to bed liner looking really matte finished.
Yes.
And kind of dull and flat and boring, for lack of a better term. Right. But the one you have on there is like a high gloss finished bed liner. I was like, that actually looks really good on it. That would look awesome on a tailgate.
I actually, in my opinion, personally, I think it's more glossy than I liked it to be. I would have liked maybe like more of a satin, but this one did come out a little bit more glossy, but it does look good. I mean, and the shine is there and it's nice. And maybe after some wear and tear, it might go down in glossy level, but I mean, that's all for me to figure out and see right now. Yeah.
Nice. Well, cool. Awesome. Anything else you're up to?
Not a whole lot. I mean, that's pretty much all that I had on my list. I didn't do a lot because I was sort of down and out this week. Played a bunch of Stardew Valley, and I restarted because I'm trying to fulfill the community center in the first year just as a goal or, sort of a try. So that was it, for the most part. So I didn't do a whole lot. I didn't work on Bobcat, trying to figure out the starter issue. I had a few people reach out. Thank you. I got a relay from Napa and it had the wrong pin configuration.
That's right.
And during that, since then, I went back to Napa to return that. And I took in the starter relay out of Bobcat and I said, the pins didn't match. Here's what it is. And we did a lot of digging and we did find another relay that had the similar pin configuration. So now I'm just waiting for Bobcat to have that symptom again. So then I can swap out the relay to see if that would solve that.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where I'm sitting at right now with Bobcat.
Okay.
Starter issue, but I just haven't started Bobcat up since then. So, I haven't tried it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. I think before we get into what I've been up to, I wanted to pull this guy out. We've had this, I think, about a week now, 2 weeks, something like that. It is a manila envelope. If you guys are watching the video, you can see what it is. From I'm not even going to try that last name. Leichts. Likes?
Yeah.
Lakes?
That's it. You nailed it.
Leichts?
Nope. So you screwed it up now.
Like it's the likes. We're gonna call them the likes.
The likes.
The lakes. Lakes or likes? I don't know. Somebody sent us a manila envelope that is a very nice person
from Wisconsin.
It is Wisconsin. Yep. I didn't notice that.
I think we had a caller call in talking about this.
Oh, okay.
On our snail mail episodes, we had a caller call in from Wisconsin talking about how all of Wisconsin's getting new license plates for some reason. And then he did a shout out for us telling everybody to send in your old Wisconsin license plates. So I'm wondering I'm assuming this is a Wisconsin license plate. If you can get it out of the manila envelope there.
It's like stuck in here, man.
Oh.
Yes, it is a license plate from Wisconsin. Oh, with a cool little letter here.
Oh, good thing you didn't chop that up.
Yeah. All right.
Nice letter.
Yeah, it's a super nice letter. Fancy. But here's the license plate. America's Dairyland for August 26th. This is still registered. I can put this on the back of the mule right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Let's just run a bunch of tolls down in San Francisco.
Just run through the toll bridge. Oh, sorry,
That's cool looking. That's a different. I've never seen that Wisconsin plate before.
Oh, this is rad.
Okay.
All right, so this is a wedding invitation.
What? Okay.
Wedding invitation of Madison and Jacob. Saturday, October 25th, which is the deadline for Moab, everybody, to put in comments, at 4 p.m. The Lofton Chapel at Cedar Ridge. Maybe we should beep that out. I don't know if we should be giving out the personal information of where this wedding is. But yeah, it's a wedding invite, apparently. Save the date. I don't know what the difference is between an invite and a save. No, please use your phone to scan the QR code above to visit our wedding website for more information and to RSVP. So it is the RSVP.
Okay.
Yeah. We can't wait to celebrate with you. Congrats to Madison and Jacob, I guess. That's pretty
awesome.
Cool. You want to look at that?
Yeah.
And then there looks like a handwritten letter in with it too.
Never been to Wisconsin. Maybe we'll have to go. All right. Thanks for that.
All right. I got the letter out here. It fought me a little bit. It says, "Hey, Tyler and Jimmy. My name is Jacob, and I've been listening to the podcast for a while now, and I love the content. My fiance and I are getting married in October, and I thought to open the invitation to my favorite podcast."
I like it.
I love it. I love to wheel, but I don't get to go very often since I live in Wisconsin. We have no trails open to OHV, only UTV and ATV. I'm currently building a 1998 Ford Explorer. Ben's interested. Ben's ears just perked. That was 2-wheel drive.
Okay.
We cut all the 2-wheel drive junk out and slapped in Super Duty axles with a custom 4-link. Right
nice.
On. With this rig, I want to go on trails that I have on my bucket list with my son, with my soon-to-be wife, like the Rubicon, Moab, Sand Hollow, just to name a few. Your podcast makes me want to get out to the Rubicon, and I know all this writing will be worth it. Thank you guys for letting me live through you when you guys talk about your wheeling trips, and keep doing what you're doing, and most of all, keep crawling. Woo! P.S. Sorry about my bad handwriting. Hope you can read it. And also, I'm including a Wisconsin plate. Didn't know if you had one yet. Thanks again.
Ah, sweet.
That's pretty rad, man.
I don't know if we have one yet.
Yeah, I don't. We need to.
And I've never seen that license plate layout before.
Yeah,
so
same.
That's fun.
Yeah. So congratulations, Jacob and
congrats.
Madison. Maybe we'll send a little goodie out to you guys.
Maybe we'll go.
We're just going to randomly show up.
I think that'd be fun.
If we do, can we please wear the Dumb and Dumber suits and show up for the wedding? Awesome.
They're like, where are these guys? Who are these guys?
Who are these jokers?
They from California or something? Yes, we
are. So rad. Congrats on your nuptials coming up here. And thanks for the letter. That was really nice. All right.
What have you been up to?
I been up to some interesting, fun things, I think.
Okay.
First off, from the Rubicon trip, the Moreflight Rubicon trip.
Yes.
The Moreflight Roundup. We Ryan and Hussman drove the 4Runner over a rock.
Yes, they did.
They
turtled themselves on a rock.
Turtled it hard and had to get winched off on the gas tank.
Yes.
So I have the gas tank skid plate in the warehouse. I meant to bring it in here to show on the video, but it's super oily from my transfer case output. I was like, I don't want to carry that around right now.
Yeah.
But we did. Ryan went home pretty much that day and swapped out the gas tank. That's Sunday we got back from the Rubicon.
I was curious. So can we back up just a little bit?
Backing up.
Only a little bit. Because on the way home, he ran out of gas.
He did. Yes. Yeah.
How did they? And then I know Hustle Nuts went and picked him up or got him or did something.
Got some fuel for him, yeah.
They've got some fuel?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, you ran out of gas. Now's the perfect time to change the gas tank because it's empty.
Yeah. So he ran out of fuel. I think Husband brought him 3 gallons, 5 gallons, something like that. And they put it in and it was enough to get home.
Sure.
And Ryan exactly said that. He was like, perfect. I'm really low on fuel now. That's the perfect time to drop the gas tank.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So he
Great
dropped.
minds think alike, Ryan.
Uh-huh. Yep. So here is the pickup. So in gas tank.
Wait a second.
In a late model or early model Toyota, this is straight.
Yeah, that should be straight.
It's straight down. It goes straight down. It's at 20 inches long, roughly.
It's almost 90 degrees.
Yeah. Yep.
It's bent. It's bent at like 245s for those that aren't watching on the video. Yes. That is nuts.
Yeah. So this is the whole pickup assembly that the fuel pump goes on. The fuel pump goes at the bottom and sucks straight out of the bottom of the tank, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm guessing that is 3 inches shorter.
Maybe
3.5 inches shorter from what it typically is when it's all straightened out. So that goes to show how dented in the gas tank was and why the fuel pump was no longer picking up fuel when it had a quarter of a tank left.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we got the pickup out, looked at it, had a good laugh at it, and decided it's going on the Wall of Fame here in the warehouse, in the studio. So, we'll have this up once we kind of convert the studio over for better videos. We'll have a lot of goodies that are getting added in this episode to your guys' viewing enjoyment. But that's the pickup right there. The gas tank is fun. I think I'll clean the gas tank off and we'll find somewhere else to put that too. It's definitely impressive.
All right.
So anyways, he swapped out the gas tank.
Yeah. Put in the long range tank. So my gas tank, the second gen 4Runners came with a 15 or an 18 gallon tank, depending on the configuration of the drivetrain and the model year. So my 4Runner had the 15 gallon tank, and Ryan is like the 6th gen 4Runner parts collector. 6th gen 4Runner?
2nd gen 4Runner parts collector. Yeah. So if you guys need parts for a 2nd gen 4Runner, give him a call. He has literally 5 or 6 of them, and he's constantly finding more that he's getting for like stupid deals. I'm amazed at how this guy works these deals.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And so he has constantly an influx coming of cars. He strips them down, gets the important parts out, and then it gets rid of the carcasses. But there's some that he has like full complete vehicles that all the carcasses there, and he has them, keeps them on a side lot next to his house. And, so he had an 18 gallon gas tank.
Right.
Crazy. And he put it in and dropped in, I think 5 gallons. I think he siphoned out 5 gallons or whatever the gallons were from the bad tank, put it in the new tank, and then drove it down to the gas station, about a mile down the street, maybe.
Okay.
Half a mile, I don't know, something like that. And then called me from the gas station.
Oh, yeah?
Because the rig would not start.
Okay, why? Like, what was it doing?
It was cranking, no start.
So, bad fuel pump again?
Bad fuel pump. Brand new fuel pump that he put in with the tank. And so the 1st gen 4Runner is really nice because underneath the back seat, there's a hatch.
Right.
That's built and cut into and designed into the body. So you can remove the back seat and then open up this hatch and gain access to your fuel pump and your pickup assembly.
Yes.
The 2nd gen 4Runner does not have that.
Nope.
And neither do I. I don't think any of the later model ones do either. So we took the opportunity to make a hatch.
Yep.
But we needed to get the 4Runner home first, back to Ryan's. And what kind of sucks about it is that the 4Runner wouldn't start, and he just filled up the tank. So now it has 18 gallons of fuel in it. Won't start. We got to get it back. And as he was starting to get it back, we flat towed it with the dually.
Okay.
So I pulled up in the dually, and then we rigged up a bridle to Kermit and then just flat towed it back.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is illegal. You're not supposed to do that. But we're like, we need to get the car back.
Right.
So it's only going half a mile. We'll deal with it. So we got it back to the house. And I guess he started cutting the hatch into the rear, underneath the rear seat and the body
Above the gas tank.
Yep. And he can smell fuel. He can smell gas. And so he kind of, peeled it open a little bit and shined his flashlight in there. And the whole top of the tank is wet with fuel. Turns out the gasket for the pickup assembly was bad as well on that fuel tank. So he goes, all right, I'm not cutting anymore. Stopping here. Yeah. He got lucky that it didn't catch anything on fire from what he had done. So he ended up having to siphon out all 18 gallons back out of the gas tank drop the gas tank back down, take the pickup assembly out, take the fuel pump off, take the good fuel pump off of the bad assembly, put that on the good assembly, put that back down in the tank, new gasket. And it seems like everything's good to go working again.
Okay. And then did he finish cutting the hole?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. After while the tank was out, he finished cutting the latch hole so that now there's a nice little hatch there.
Okay.
So that was a fun series of events.
Yeah. That's scary.
Getting into the gas tank and repairing the gas tank there on the Kermit. Let's see. So I then, after he got done with that, I got Kermit back.
Okay.
And I've had a list of 2 to 3 things I've been wanting to do on Kermit for a while since Rubathon, pretty much.
Yeah. We talked about a bunch of that on Monday's episode.
Yep. And so, one of them was I have the new link. I've had the new link done, set up, ready to go. I just need to put it in.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do that. And I also needed to completely redo the output flange.
Yes.
On the transfer case, the rear output. So output flange, seal, RTV, all the good stuff, right? New nut on there as well. I got everything. Just redid the whole thing. So I went under Kermit. I'm thinking this output flange is going to take 20 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
It's not that bad of a job. It's pretty quick and easy, especially if you lift the rear end of the vehicle up so all the gear oil in the transfer case goes forward.
Yeah, but you don't need to do that. You can just reverse up your driveway.
I could. I didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
It's too steep of a driveway. I don't trust working on vehicles on it. But anyways, I'm like 20-minute job. That's not that bad. But the link I'm thinking is going to take longer because Ori, when he installed my link in the 4-wheel underground stuff, the link suspension, he did not make it so that you can just pull the link out without removing anything else.
Oh,
you have to pull the fucking coil over.
Oh.
In order to pull the bolt out of the link.
So he built it so that the mount for the shock coilover is over the top of where you would pull the link out?
Well, no, the bolt that holds the link in.
Yeah.
The bolt has to slide outwards from the bracket and it slides and hits the springs on the coilover.
Oh, man.
So you have to remove the coilover in order to get the bolt out to remove the link.
Can you just articulate the Forerunner enough so that the bolt will slide in between the links once it's like expanded?
No.
Oh,
yeah, it didn't work. So I pulled out the high lift jack and started working on that. And that job was a pain in the fucking ass.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm seriously debating on cutting off the shock mounts. And it only really, like, the shock mounts, if they just stuck out from the axle another half inch, it would clear.
Oh, really?
Like, it was that close. And I was like, you couldn't have just made the shock tabs like just a half an inch longer. Like,
he never checked it.
No, I don't think he ever did. Yep. So I'm debating on cutting the shock tabs off and redoing new shock tabs to be a half an inch longer so that you can get that bolt out without having to remove the coilover.
Can you get a smaller bolt?
So it would have to be a smaller head bolt. I wouldn't, maybe I wouldn't want to get a smaller bolt though.
Okay. So it's not length.
It's the lower length. I mean, it is the length. Yeah. But the spring is the bolt, I mean, so here's the link, right?
Yeah.
We got video up and running now, right? So here's a link. The bolt has to come through the bracket too. So quarter inch on either side, 3/16, plus a nut and the bolt head. So the whole bolt is that long, right?
I understand. Yeah.
So you have to get out all the way there.
If there was an excess amount of threads on one side that you could probably shorten the length and make it work.
Not really. No.
What if you put the threaded in on the link like bracket and made that partially threaded so you can shorten it up?
It's still, I mean, the bolt, you have to, the distance between the coil and the bracket is way shorter than the bracket is wide.
Okay.
No, the answer is no, that cannot happen.
Yeah.
The shock tab really needs to be longer. That's the easiest fix.
Got it. All right.
So, and it only needs to be half an inch longer. So it's like, anyways, forethought of how shit goes together. Anyways, so that ended up being a big pain in the ass trying to get the link out with one person pulling the coil over.
Yeah, I bet.
So, and then getting it all back together, because once you pull the coilover out, there's nothing holding up the axle and the truck from the axle, right? So you just have the high lift holding it up. But that means that once you pull that lower link out, the axle rotates.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And so you have to get the axle back into position to line up the coilover bolt so that once the coilover is in, then it can hold the axle in position to line up the link and get the link put in.
Yeah.
And so I ended up having to call the secretary out to hold, because the other problem is the high lift. The high lift goes up and down in increments of about 1 inch.
Sure.
I needed it to go up half an inch.
Oh, yep.
So this is the benefit to the hydraulic ARB jack. You have unlimited increments, right? Because it's a hydraulic ram essentially in there that you're building pressure on. Whereas the high lift is a pin moves up holes.
Yes.
In the post. And so I had to call the secretary out, and she had to pull the high lift handle down and hold it. And I'd have to tell her a little more, a little less in order to line up the hole for the coilover bolt.
Oh, jeez.
So once I got that in though, it all worked, but just swapping out the link took me 3 hours.
Yeah.
2.5 to 3 hours. Like, it was a pain in the ass. So anyways, that's my gripe. When you guys are putting together suspensions, and put packaging stuff, put forethought, all you installers and fabricators out there, put forethought into how this can all come apart for easy maintenance.
Please.
Yes. Anyways, so yeah, swap the link out. The old link, that is the non-adjustable link is here in the studio now to add to the wall of fame parts.
Yeah. Yep. Another one.
Another piece. Let's see, the transfer case output.
Yes.
So I took the nut, I believe is I think it's a 30 mil, 1 3/16, something like that.
Yeah.
Right in that range.
Yeah, it's around there.
Whatever that measurement is. I forget the size of the socket, but I grabbed the socket and it was a 12-point socket going on a 6-point nut.
Yeah.
Which should be fine.
Yeah.
And I put it on the DeWalt 1/2-inch impact.
Okay.
And sent it to reverse it out. Stripped the fuck out of the nut immediately.
Oh no.
And I was like, hold on, that's spinning. And I don't think the nut is spinning. So I kind of pulled it off and I was like, huh. And like, that's kind of the problem of using an impact to do this, is you can't feel if the nut is actually spinning or not. You kind of have to just hope that it is.
Right.
And so I went and grabbed a wrench and put that on, and yep, it was the nut. The socket was spinning on the nut, and I was like, "That's
dang,
fuck, that's not good."
Yeah, and I don't think they make bolt biters that big.
They don't.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. The biggest they make is 1 inch. But I have a 1-inch bolt biter, and I was like, "Please let this fit. Can I just like force it on?" It wouldn't. There was no way. It wasn't going on. So I'm like, well, can I like jam the slightly smaller nut, which was the 1 1/8 on there? Can I jam a 1 1/8 socket onto the nut and like just hammer it on?
Right.
and kind of act like a bolt biter. Nope, didn't work. That wouldn't go on.
Dang.
Can I take the 1 3/16 and kind of like jam it on at a funky angle?
Yeah.
And kind of bind it on there.
Yeah, put some duct tape over it to
something. Yeah,
make it bigger.
Yeah, nope, didn't work. Didn't. Tried heating it up and doing both of those. Didn't work. So I'm like, all right, time to weld the socket on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much it, huh?
Yeah. Which welding sockets onto stuck nuts actually works really well because it's the quickest, most efficient way to heat it up, superheat it, right? Too. So that helps breaking it loose. So when I put that nut on there, I staked it as well as red Loctited the hell out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's a very important nut and you can't tell if it's coming loose unless you drop the drive shaft off.
Sure.
So I'd never want that thing to come loose, which means it doesn't want to come loose, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus the RTV that I put on the threads that had come out as well that gets on the nut. So that's all kind of being held together by RTV, Loctite, a stake on it. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's weld a nut on or weld a socket onto it. And the cool thing about having a carnage welder is that you just pull it right out, open it up, flip the switch and you're welding. So I didn't have to pull out the big welder, the 220 with the 40-foot extension cable to get down to the vehicle, down the driveway and everything. Just walked to this Pelican case welder from Carnage down to the rig and had to go find a socket that would line up well with the sides of the nut, which ended up being a 7/8 socket.
Yeah. I can't believe you used a gear wrench.
I didn't have a peasant socket and a 7/8.
Yeah.
But that is a spare socket. So I have another 7/8 3/8 drive socket. So
you handed me a socket and a nut. So apparently that worked.
It worked great.
Yeah.
So I tack welded the 6 sides for the 6-sided nut.
Yeah.
Let it cool off a little bit and then put a 3/8 extension in and just zipped it right off by hand without too much effort at all.
Yeah.
So it worked awesome. And now we have another display piece for the studio.
You were busy this weekend.
I was busy
making things for the studio.
I was making display art for the studio for sure. So yeah, that was fun. I don't know. It came out kind of fun. It came out good.
Yeah.
So
not bad.
Let me see. So we got that on. Let's see. What else did I do? I pressure washed the entire chassis, everything, the axles, the links, all the brackets, the underside of the tub, pressure washed everything down and waited for it to dry and then painted everything.
Okay, good. Finally getting around to that.
Yep. Now that I have the oil leak fixed from the transfer case, I'm like, let's just clean everything down and paint it.
Yeah.
And hopefully the oil leak stays fixed. And if it doesn't, everything's painted and I don't have to worry about having to clean it all up again to paint it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So painted everything with that rust encapsulator from, what is that? Rust-Oleum?
Yeah.
Rust-Oleum has a nice rust encapsulator, painted everything with that. And then I didn't have enough time to put on a top coat of the primer, the black primer.
Oh, okay.
So it's now just a single coat of the rust encapsulator, which turned out great. Everything is nice and clean underneath Kermit now. And so I did that as well. And
wow. Another one?
I had a small list of things that I really been wanting to get done that were kind of big items, but like they didn't really have an effect on Kermit's ability to drive and wheel, except for the gas tank. But it was like, they just needed to get done.
Yeah.
So the last thing was there was a couple things that happened, on the Rubicon for the Morphlate Roundup. The parking brakes, Ryan engaged them at one point at Walker Hill after he got off of the stuck rock on the gas tank.
Okay.
And they did not disengage.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have a power probe in Kermit. And so the cool thing about the power probe is that you can hook it up to power, and then it'll tell you whether it's a closed circuit, open circuit, as well as you can apply 12-volt power to the circuit to test motors, switches, etc. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Objects. And so we took the power probe and applied it to the electric brake motors.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing about the Willwood electric parking brakes is that it's a motor that drives a worm gear, and the worm gear pushes the brake pads together.
Okay. Yeah.
And so all you do is apply power to turn the motor, and then reverse the polarity to turn the motor in the opposite direction to pull the worm gear and the brake pad away.
Sure.
From the rotor. So we applied the 12-volt negative polarity and disengaged the motors, and then just left everything there. And I was like, I'll diagnose it later.
Okay. Yeah.
So it came down, and so that was the first thing. The second thing was that the radios were not working. The ham radios.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were. Okay. And I tried replacing the fuse right before the trip, a 20 amp fuse on the regular ham radio, the one I talk on. So I have the one I talk on, and then the Bluetooth one that does all my APR stuff.
Right.
So I replaced the fuse on the one I talk on, and immediately popped the 20 amp fuse. So I'm like, okay, there's a short somewhere in the circuit. Yeah. I don't know where it is. I don't have time to diagnose it. So we can use handhelds for the trip, whatever. So I'm coming back now to try and start diagnosing those two electrical issues. So I start digging into the radios, and it's a open short somewhere in the circuit. And I start doing tracing. Turns out the sub panel. So I have a series of sub panels, electrical panels in the engine bay to run different electrical stuff off of, the electrical categories.
Sure. Of course.
At the very end of the sub panels circuits is the radio sub panel. And on that sub panel, I have the two ham radios and the Willwood electric parking brakes.
Got it.
And that's the only thing on that panel.
Right. Okay. So it's pretty easy to figure out where an issue might be coming from, because both of those things that were having problems are in that area.
It comes right back to that panel. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just start testing and tracing wiring from that panel.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at it, and there's just a bunch of wires right there, because I have two panels. I have a Blue Sea Systems panel right next to that one that I had rock lights. What all is in there? I have two switches on the center console that were wired into that, and the electric fans were all wired into that.
Got it.
And when we removed the electric fans, we never removed the wiring for the electric fans. So I'm sitting here thinking, I don't have anything hooked up to those two switches in the center console. I don't have plans to hook anything up to those. Let's just remove those wires. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
And same for the electric fans. I'm not using electric fans anymore. So let's just remove all the electric fan wiring.
Yeah.
So by doing that, I freed up 5 fuse spots on the Blue Sea System fuse panel.
Okay.
So I'm like,
nice.
Well, there's 3 components that are on the other sub panel, the 2 radios and the electric parking brake. So I can now consolidate down to just one fuse panel.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, okay, let's start working on that. And so as I was working on that and doing all that testing and cleaning up the wiring situation, I figured out that the sub panel that the radios and the electric parking brake were on was shorted out internally.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So with no power, or I should say, with power going into the panel, it was at 13.3 volts, which is the lithium battery powering the system.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I was able to have no fuse in it and test the other side, which should have no power.
It should be 0. Yeah.
And it was testing 11.8 volts.
Interesting.
And it was doing that on every single terminal on that fuse panel.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, so this is shorted out internally. The panel's bad.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. I think that's my short.
Sure.
So I was like, that would make sense why the radios and the parking brake were not working if there's a short there. So I'm like, okay,
And why would something like that happen?
That's a good question.
Would it get an influx of power?
Influx of power, too high voltage, not really high voltage wouldn't necessarily do that to the fuse panel, but an influx of power would do that to the fuse panel. An influx of amperage.
What about a bad ground?
No, a bad ground wouldn't necessarily do that. It's either too much power was running through the sub panel for too long, which creates a lot of heat and then melts plastic parts. And as plastic parts melt that are supporting the metal parts can start touching each other.
Sure.
And that creates a short. It could be an influx of power, a rapid influx of power that melted stuff and caused metal to start touching. But one of those two scenarios probably happened.
Got it.
So I'm thinking that it was at this point an influx of power, like a surge, right? That happened. And so I'm like, okay, let's pull all the wiring off. So I pull all the wiring off of that and put it into the Blue Sea Systems panel. So I hook all the wiring up to that for the two radios and the electric parking brakes.
Yep.
And put a fuse in, immediately pops a 20 amp fuse.
What?
So now I'm like, okay, there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So is that one?
So I tested that panel. I had tested that one before I put all the wiring on it because I'm like, if it happened to one panel, it could happen to both. I mean, the secondary panel drew the power from the first panel. So it kind of, from the load post that powers the first panel, I had a wire going over to the secondary panel, the sub panel.
So you tested the first panel, the one that you just put everything on before you put everything in.
Before I put everything on, everything was testing fine. Okay. Without a fuse in there, there was no power getting to the secondary, the other post in the fuse socket, right? So I'm like, okay, this is not good. So now I got to start tracing the wiring back to the radios.
Yeah.
And I have all my radios and everything are connected together from the run of wiring that goes from the sub panel to the radio. You've got the sub panel terminals, and then on the radio side, I have Anderson power poles. So super easy to pull that wire apart and test voltage and electrical and continuity tests on it, right? So I start testing those, and those are testing out just fine. They're not getting power. They're not shorted. There's no continuity between the ground and the load.
Okay.
And so I start testing the radios, and there's no continuity between the ground and the load, but I'm like, so where the fuck is my short at?
The brakes.
Not in the, no, it's in, so there's three components and and I tested the brakes. It's like a theory. Now that we're hooked up to the new panel, if that was the problem, the brake should work. So I turned on the accessories, turned on the parking brakes, and the parking brakes engaged.
Yes.
The rear driver engaged, though. I thought both of them did. The rear passenger did not engage. The rear driver engaged.
But wouldn't disengage.
But wouldn't disengage. And the system was not reading. It wasn't giving the indicator light on the switch as if everything was engaged.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, it's not disengaging. So I had to pull the power probe back out and disengage the motors using the power probe. I'm like, all right, so something else is going on. And so I went and just took the radios out of the rig. I took the wiring out. I said, I'm just going to rip everything out.
Okay.
And then start over. And that way I can look at the wiring, pull it out of the loom, and look at the wiring, physically inspect it to see if the jacket cut through somewhere and we're getting a short there. And I pulled all the wiring out and I'm like, nope, everything looks good on the wiring.
Yeah.
So the next step is to bench test the radios.
Okay.
So I took them up to my my workstation in my office for testing radios and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hook them up to the radio, and I'm getting a full-on short through the radio.
Wow.
So the radio is shorted out internally once power is applied.
Wow.
So some component in the electronic board of both radios is not working properly.
Yeah.
And is just letting power surge through the whole thing once it's hooked up to power. But it doesn't have continuity on the ground and load when you just test the ground and load continuity. It's not until you apply power to the system that it's shorted out, that it shorts out. So I asked my father-in-law about it, who's a electrical engineer. And he said essentially That can happen. Most good quality radios, though, will all have over voltage protection.
Right.
But he said that'll happen, though, to the radios, and the symptoms of that happens when you over voltage the radios. And he goes, were you near a lightning strike anytime recently or anything else? And I'm like, not that I know of. However, there was a night that we had electrical storm come over when we went down to the Feather River.
Yeah.
Apparently the electrical storm, we had one right over us in the canyon, right on the Feather River. Apparently that same electrical storm was down in Sacramento as well.
It was gnarly.
Okay.
I remember it.
It's possible that there was a nearby lightning strike. Yeah. I didn't hear anything about it, but that could be one thing.
Okay. So Kermit got struck by lightning.
That's one possibility. The other possibility is welding. This is why you pull the ground off your batteries when you weld on your vehicles, is because welding does 24 volt typically, or more, right? 24, 36 volts, somewhere around there at high amperages. So if you have that electrical current that ends up going through your electronic devices, sensitive electronic devices, you can fry your electronic devices.
Ah, okay.
I've never had that issue before while welding on Kermit.
Right.
But the last time I'm trying to think of the series of events that Kermit has went through since I know stuff was working to when I know it's not working. And we did the engine swap, or we pulled the engine, did the exhaust swap. And then during that process, we plasma cut the engine mounts.
Right.
On the body so that we could put the bolt through.
Okay.
As well as I welded the MF logos onto the axles.
Sure.
So I'm like,
you guys welded a link on the trail.
We did that on the trail, but the radios were working after that.
Okay.
And technically the link wasn't on the vehicle when we welded it.
Oh.
So, I mean, but I've welded on Kermit before, like the sliders. I welded the sliders and everything worked after that.
Yeah.
So I've never had issues like that before, but that could have been another thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what the cause of it was, but the radios are fried due to over voltage.
Wow.
Which I'm guessing, now that I'm thinking about it, the Willwood brake system has an ECU brains that controls the electrical signals going down to the motors, and whether it's engaged, disengaged, whether you can engage it again further when it's already engaged, or the indicator lights to show when it's engaged so you can disengage it, etc. I'm guessing that little brain got fried as well.
Oh no.
Because everything on that sub panel seems to be misbehaving.
Yeah.
And the sub panel melted, and the radios are fried due to over voltage. I'm guessing that the electrical circuitry in the Willwood ECU is also fried.
Oh no.
So I need to call Willwood and be like, hey, here's what I think happened. How do I test it?
Right.
And see what they say about testing their ECU. We'll see. That's
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
If that happened.
It is a bummer if it happened. So Kermit needs new radios and probably a new parking brake ECU.
Yeah.
As well as the mule needs radios.
Yeah.
So I might be going on a big buying spree here soon to buy a bunch of electronic components for both of the vehicles. And I'm kind of like, that's going to be $1,000-$1,500 for everything. And I'm like, God, I don't have that money right now. So, I may just be dealing with handhelds for the time being.
Maybe we can get a group buy going,
right? For some ICOM radios. So anyways, I
could use another one.
Yeah. I mean,
I could put one in Clifford.
Yeah.
Or Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another, with the 400, Yaesu 400. Yep. When I bought that, I bought two. So I could put that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like a radio in at least Clifford and Samantha, and Charlotte would be a bonus.
Yeah.
So I have one radio, but I would like two more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can look into that. I just need to, we have a lot of big purchase orders going through Moreflate right now. I've got
Well, and holidays are coming up, which is great for everybody. But on a business side, that means we need to prepare for an influx in sales.
Yeah, you're having to spend. We're spending over $500,000 in a 3-month period. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like, I'd rather the $1,500 go into production for inventory. Make sure we have inventory for the holidays right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's I need to figure that out, but I think I've figured out what's going on.
Okay.
The radios are definitely fried from the bench tests.
Yeah.
And I cleaned up all the wiring in Kermit. The undercarriage of Kermit looks awesome. And protected from rust now, and the output seal. I drove around Kermit all day. First half of the day yesterday, Monday.
Yeah.
God, Kermit's so much fun to drive.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun to drive. And with the link being repaired, and technically this link here, the welded one versus the one I put on, I did all the measurements for the suspension and components and figuring out the correct pinion angles. It's only about 1/8 of an inch off.
Okay.
Of length.
The welded one.
The welded one was only about 1/8 inch off of being properly lengthened. So it shouldn't make that big of a difference. I wouldn't think 1/8 of an inch would make that big of a difference to your suspension components and how your axle behaves. But driving around Kermit, I'm not really getting a whole lot of roll steer anymore. However, since we did the tune up on the engine, and got the engine mounts to be a solid,
okay,
that engine is torquey, and it gets a ton of roll due to torque roll.
Interesting.
Especially as you're turning left while accelerating, which is the way the drivetrain wants to pull the rig, right?
Yeah.
You turn left while accelerating and you stop turning and the rig stays sideways.
Oh,
like
funny.
This until you shift into second. And then once you put in the clutch and disengage the drivetrain to shift, it goes and levels back out.
Wow. Interesting.
So I need to talk with Brian at 4 Underground to be like, is that something that can be tuned out? Like, I haven't changed anything on the suspension, on the springs and coilover side, since before doing the tune up on the engine, the exhaust, and the engine mounts, right? A solid engine mount on separation. And it didn't have this much torque roll before all that.
Yeah.
And now it has a lot of torque roll. So I need to talk with Brian and see if there's a way to tease that out in tuning the shocks differently or the coils, or I don't know, something to be done there. Or if that's a symptom of roll center on the suspension geometry and how it's set up. But it wasn't doing it before with the same geometry, and now it is with the same geometry. So I'm like, I can't imagine the geometry is what's causing that.
Was it doing it with that one? With the welded one?
It was.
Oh.
But with the welded one, it was also steering during that torque.
Right.
Now it's not steering.
Yeah.
So it's just torque. You're getting torque roll. So it's handleable. You just kind of go on a little bit of a fun ride.
Yeah.
While it's going.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. It's so fun to drive. And I'm really like driving that around and then driving the mule around.
Mm-hmm.
The mule is way less fun to drive. It's way more. It almost handles like a daily driven vehicle.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem with the mule is that the steering is really, really sensitive. It's like full hydro.
Okay.
But not full hydro. Like it's what happens on the mule is that if the engine RPMs are above 700 to 800 RPMs, it behaves like it's full hydro. If it's below 700 to 800 RPMs, it behaves as if it's manual steering.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no fluid going through the fucking system
at low
RPMs.
Interesting. And then there's almost too much flow at high RPMs.
At any RPM above 700-800. Yeah. So, and then when on the trail, when you're rock crawling, as soon as you start binding up the steering system, you just get no steering. So like with Kermit, I can put him in a situation where it starts binding the steering and the hydraulic ram will push through it.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. As long as you're not like have a big ass boulder right up against the tire and it's keeping it from turning.
Yes.
Where like, if you're like climbing and turning at the same time, that's hard on your steering components. Kermit will push through it just fine.
Yeah.
The mule won't. The steering system just like binds up and says, nope, not doing this today. Figure something else out. So I need to, I think, talk to Dimitri about how he has that steering system set up and why he set it up that way, if it was on purpose.
Right.
But I don't like the steering system in the mule. I love how Kermit's steering system behaves. So I want to try and mimic Kermit's steering setup in the mule.
Sure.
So that's on the to-do list for the mule. I've kind of figured that out. And I had a really good conversation. I posted on Instagram about the mule and the automatic.
Yeah.
And the issues I have with rock crawling and automatic.
Yes.
Everybody's like, it's easier. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Right.
And it's not easier.
Okay.
It's so much easier to wheel a manual that's geared properly. I should say, put that on there. That caveat there.
Yeah.
If you have a manual that's not geared properly, it's a bitch of a time to wheel and rock crawl that manual, right?
Yeah.
But geared properly, you put it in gear and you're only using your right foot to control the vehicle.
You only are using the accelerator. You're either on the accelerator or off of it, and it's slowing down or speeding up for you.
Yep. And geared properly, you don't need to use the brakes.
Nope.
For downhill descents coming off the other sides of rocks as you're cresting obstacles. And geared properly, you should never have your foot on the clutch. Correct. Your left foot should always be on the floor, right?
Yep. Relaxing.
With a manual, relaxing. So I'm like going through a trail with a manual, super easy, super relaxing. Everyone's like, oh, an automatic's going to be easier for you. And then everybody I talk to says, oh no, you have to 2-foot it. You have to 2-foot drive an automatic.
Okay.
That's the way you make automatics work rock crawling. And I'm like, that's so much work than driving a properly geared manual.
Right.
Because now I'm always working both feet at all times.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a pain in the ass to do. I'm like, it's doable. I just need to get more used to doing it. But I'm like, that's just so much more work than just using one foot.
Yes.
So A, automatics are not easier. And B, torque converters like to disengage drivetrains when they drop below certain RPMs, right?
Sure.
Below the stall point of a torque converter. So that's what's been happening to me is that as I'm in second gear or third gear, going through the trail, kind of cruising through the trail, if I hit a little rock and I just need to crest over that one little rock, the rig disconnects the drivetrain, the torque converter disconnects the drivetrain, and I go flying off the other side of the rock because I'm essentially now in neutral.
Yes.
Right?
Sure.
Whereas a manual transmission doesn't do that.
No, you stay in gear.
You stay in gear, and the engine compression and the engine rotations controls your descent on the other side of obstacles or cresting over rocks.
Correct.
So for cruising the trail, super nice. You just kind of go, right? Mm-hmm. With an automatic, you hit a rock, you climb it, and then you really go off the other side of the rock.
Yes.
So everybody's telling me, well, the answer to that is just cruise in first gear. And I'm like, that's too slow with how the mule is geared. The mule is geared properly, in my opinion.
Okay.
It has the automatic, which in first gear is 3.5, I think it is, to 1. And second gear is like 2.0 to 1, pretty much. The transfer case is out of a 2016 4Runner, a 5th gen 4Runner.
Okay.
Which is 2.38, I think, to 1. And the front case is the 4.7 taco box from Marlin.
Oh, okay.
So I wheel around in the 4.7 in the rocks and pretty much second gear, which is pretty much what I do in Kermit.
Yeah.
I'm wheeling around second gear, 4.7, 1 foot driving in Kermit through the Rubicon without too many issues. I'll drop it down to first for Whalebones, for Walker Hill, like the big obstacles getting through Noby's Rock, etc. But for the most part, I'm in second gear and able to cruise around 1 foot driving. I can't do that in the mule.
Okay.
I have to 2 foot drive in second gear or be in first gear, go slower than I would like, but the torque converter is locked up in first gear.
Sure.
So, figuring all this out and then I had a lot of people give input on that post on Instagram.
Okay, good.
Which was awesome. It's a lot of really good feedback. There was some people that are just like, yeah, you're being a pussy, learn to 2-foot drive. And I'm like, that's not acceptable to me.
Yeah.
I know that this is a solvable problem. Why not just solve it?
Right.
Like, why should I have to put up with something I don't want to put up with?
Yeah,
yeah. And so our good buddy Ryan, Battery Ryan, has a GX470.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He apparently has had this issue in his GX470 and found a great solution for it.
Okay. And what's that?
There is an Australian company. I forget what they're called, what the name of it is. But they make a new valve body. It's an aftermarket valve body for the different Toyota automatic transmissions.
Okay.
And so the transmission that's in the GX470 is the same transmission, supposedly the automatic, that's in the 4th gen 4Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Because they both share the V8 platform.
Yes.
So that automatic transmission has a valve body upgrade from Australia. What's really neat about this valve body upgrade is that they have the option to send you an electronic signal sender to the ECU to lock up your torque converter in any gear you want.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just a button next to your shifter on the transmission tunnel.
Okay. Yep.
So the cool thing about this particular transmission is it's a 4-speed transmission. And so all of those 4 gears are selectable on the transmission, the shifter, the gates, right?
Oh, okay, cool.
Whereas like there's a lot of transmissions nowadays that are 8-speed, 10 speeds.
Yeah. And
you can only really select like the first 3 or whatever, right?
It's 1, 2, 3 drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one does have all of them selectable. So in theory, instead of doing a manual valve body, which is kind of where I was going with it, what I was looking at doing, you can take the transmission oil pan off, unbolt the valve body, bolt this new valve body on, refill the transmission, and wire in this torque converter lockout.
Yeah.
With it all. And apparently by doing that all, it runs a higher pressure on your transmission.
Okay.
Which means that the gears mesh better and easier. So you have less gear slippage, and with the higher pressure, also your torque converter locks. When it is engaged, it doesn't slip as much.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot cooler automatic transmission temperatures.
Oh, good.
And by fully locking in the torque converter, you definitely don't get any slipping.
Yep.
And again, much lower transmission temperatures on automatics.
And back to something similar to a manual transmission.
Exactly. So,
I like it.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds awesome. And so he goes, Cruiser Brothers used to be the United States distributor for this valve body and lockout, torque converter lockout. I'm like, I know the owner of old Cruiser Brothers. It's now Valley Hybrids. I think Cruiser Brothers either went defunct or they're not focusing on that anymore.
Yeah.
So I texted George.
Yeah.
George, how you doing, buddy? Random question for you.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine told me about this and said that you might have some experience with these. What are your thoughts? And George came back and he goes, I love it. It's a brilliant piece of equipment. I put one on every single one of my vehicles.
Wow.
And I'm like, interesting. Okay. And I was like, so here's the problem I'm having. Would this solve it? He goes, 1000%. That's what this is meant to do.
Okay.
And I'm like, thank you. Okay.
Can I get one?
Can I get one? He goes, no, I don't distribute them anymore. But this company does. Give them a call. Ask for this guy. Tell him I sent you.
Yeah.
And he'd be more than happy to talk your ear off about these valve bodies and torque converter lockouts.
Sure. When was it? Like Cruiser Outfitters and Kurt?
No, it wasn't. It's called,
like, I know him.
It's called like Cruiser and Company, I think it is the name of the company. So anyways, now that's on my to-do list to give them a call.
Yeah.
And be like, do you guys have the option for the 4th gen 4Runner, that transmission? Can I get one? How much is it? Etc. My other option is, because import duties and tariffs are fucking outrageous right now.
Yeah.
Is to talk to my distributor in Australia.
Sure.
my Morphlate distributor, Essential 4x4, and say, hey, can you guys get this SKU from that company? And I'll pay you for it
and mail it to me.
And I'll just pay for all the shipping and we'll ship it straight. That way we can avoid all the import duties and tariffs.
Yeah. I'm sure one of our Australian listeners who works in the automotive industry could help you out too.
I'm sure they could as well, right? Yeah. So I'm like, I got to go down that road now to figure out what the cost is of picking it up here versus the cost of having one of our Australian friends pick it up and paying for the shipping over.
Yeah, interesting. And it sounds like a fantastic solution.
It is. I think it's literally the perfect solution for what I was looking for, which was mainly how do you lock up the torque converter so that it behaves like a manual transmission?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mind the, because when the torque converter is locked, I don't know actually if you have to unlock the torque converter to shift gears. I don't think it does. I think you can shift the gears. I don't know. That's a good question. I would imagine you have to shift gears. I don't know how the clutch systems and clutch gears work in an automatic transmission.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do either. So I think if I put the transmission in third gear while I'm cruising around and lock the torque converter, that the transmission will work its way through first through third gear as it needs to. Whereas like a manual valve body with a lockout torque converter, you put it in third, it's going to stay in third gear, right? So if you end up dropping too low of RPMs in third gear, it kills the engine the way a manual transmission does, right? So I think that with the automatic transmission, my understanding is when the torque converter is fully locked up in third gear, the transmission will still drop down to first gear if you are going slow enough to warrant it.
Okay.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
You maintain the drivability of an automatic transmission with the always connected drivetrain of a manual transmission.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious if it works that way.
That's what I'm kind of like,
it's
now that I'm
weird
thinking about
to think about.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to figure that out because I don't know if the torque converter needs to get into neutral to allow the shifting to happen. Like when you push in your clutch. Right. To be able to do that. But since there's all the clutches and everything in the automatic transmission, it might not need to. But
that's what I think. I think that's the whole point of an automatic transmission is that it can shift gears without disconnecting the drivetrain.
Yeah.
Due to the clutches and the valve bodies and how all that works, right? Your different pressures.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, it makes sense, but when you think about it,
I need to ask Ryan. I need to follow up that question because he has this setup in his GX470.
Yeah, sure.
And he's like, come over sometime. Let's get together. We can have the kids get together. We can do some barbecue and I'll bring the GX470. You can bring the mule and we'll just play around with the cars in the street for a little bit and you can see how this works. I'm like, kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
So
it does. It would be interesting because if you're staying in manual mode in your automatic, at what point would it shift down to second? And when it shifts down, then you're going to be at high RPMs.
Yeah.
So that motion,
you just have to get used to the shift points, I would imagine.
That would be interesting where I think I'd almost want to stay in gear and have it damn near, have the rev limit, go way low, like you're going to kill the vehicle. I almost feel like that would be easier to drive just because I'm used to that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. So a little bit further diving, I just figured out this like yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday and talked to George about it all yesterday too. So more research to come, but I think that's the route I'm going to be going.
Cool. Sounds good. I'm interested.
Yeah. That's all my updates, I think.
Nice. Yeah, you did a lot.
Did a lot, got a lot done. A lot of little, just small, annoying things that needed to get done on Kermit that I've been putting off because it hasn't made Kermit unusable. So now that they're done, it's nice to get them off the to-do list.
Good.
Next is going to be, I think this weekend on my relaxing time, I'm going to install cup holders in the mule.
Yeah.
So
did you like those ones that Rodney sent us?
Yes and no. I don't know how. I don't have my big metal tumbler here, but it's a tumbler that has two different sizes, right?
Right.
So I don't know how that is going to fit and hold in there really well. Whereas I found some 3D printed cup holders that are going to be, it's a simple cup holder that's sized great. It works great with everything I've put in it so far. And then I'm going to nutsert those into the side of the transmission tunnel.
Okay.
So they'll be kind of right down next to my leg, but that's kind of space where my leg doesn't go into because it doesn't bend that way. So I think I'm going to put a couple of those in, as well as install the 12 volt accessory power station inside the center console of the mule. And then I'm going to do that this weekend.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Good work.
Yay. Fun times working on vehicles.
Yeah.
And hopefully people learn some cool stuff about automatic transmissions.
Yeah.
And torque converter lockouts.
Yeah. There's multiple ways to skin a cat.
Yeah. Exactly. And throw it across a yard. Yep. Oh, that's funny. All right. That's it for today. If you guys have any feedback for us, feedback about automatic transmissions, other solutions, maybe like I thought about doing a low stall torque converter. Because apparently I talked to Dimitri and he said that he never touched the torque converter when he redid the transmission and drivetrain. So it still has the stock torque converter in. Okay. So a low stall torque converter, I think, would also solve this problem. But I'd rather just have a manual lockout so that I know when I want it locked, it's going to be locked kind of thing.
That's kind of cool.
So I'm going to go this route. And it's an easier install.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull everything off. You don't have to pull the drivetrain out, right?
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Do it. So you're just pulling the oil pan off of the transmission and replacing the valve body.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, I think I'm gonna go in this route. If you guys have feedback about other ways, ideas to solve this problem, I'm always interested. I think this is really going to be the solution, but I love hearing about other ideas. So send them in. You guys can give us a call, 916-345-4744. If you guys have any art you want to add to the studio, to add to my four pieces I added today, send those on our way too. You can ship them in to us. The address is the Moreflate Warehouse. So you can find that on the Moreflate's website down at the bottom in the contact information.
Suite 5.
Make sure that's on there. And I don't know. Lots of other fun stuff always happening. Gift box tiers are opening. Go leave comment on the Labyrinth Room Gemini Bridges through Blue Ribbon's Action Alert. You have until October 25th to do that. I think that's it, man.
Yeah. If you want to get a hold of us individually, you can reach us on Instagram. I'm over at SnailTrail4x4. Tyler's over at 4x4 Toyota Tyler, or you can email us, Jimmy or Tyler at SnailTrail4x4.com.
Sweet. I like it a lot. And with that, Jimmy, any final words for everybody out there today?
Yeah. I was coming off this cold, coming into the weekend, and my toe started hurting.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, I haven't been drinking.
Yeah.
What the heck? And
it's all the alcohol
most
from
of
the
time. Maybe I don't. Most of the time when gout happens on your right foot, and this one was on my left foot.
Oh.
And it was getting worse and worse, like day by day. And eventually I'm like, okay, this is like, it's not gout. Like, what happened? I got stung or bit by something.
Really?
I have no idea when, like sticking my foot in a shoe or in bed or whatever it is. And my toe was so swollen. And then eventually I figured out that like, it was like it was poison of some sort, right? Down there. That I started taking Benadryl, and now it's been subsiding. But I have like, and now there's an obvious like punctured spot of where it all happened. So it's just like, I don't know when that happened, and it was bad. It hurt so bad. And I was on my feet all day, Saturday and Sunday. So like your feet were getting swollen just because, you're standing up a lot. And then it was even more throbbing because there was some other issue going down there. So that was random and kind of bizarre.
And with that, the image for today's podcast is going to be Jimmy's toe.
Yeah. But you have to sign up for Only Feet.
Yeah, Only Feet Finder to get that one. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I went to the doctor the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, stop me if I told this one. I'm trying to remember.
Stop. Just stop. Just stop.
So I went to the doctor the other day and and I told him, I'm having hearing problems. I think my hearing's going out.
Okay.
And he said, oh, really? Can you describe the symptoms? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, there's Bart. He's a little brat. And there's Homer, who's the father that has like a few pieces of hair. And there's Marge with that big, tall blue hair.
Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have I told that one?
No, you haven't. There's another one similar to that. I can't remember it though, but it's about hearing in an older couple. I forget it though.
I'm probably.
Right. Yep.